Hi and welcome to my channel. In my last video, I showed you the basics of simple interest. Today, we are taking it further with 3 powerful examples that prove how you can calculate the total investment, interest charged, and even how long a loan or savings will last. If you understand this formula, you can make smarter financial decisions and stop losing money without even realizing it. Example number 2. At the end of 2006, Sipo invested 5,000. Right away, we can see that this is the principal amount. So the amount that Sipo invested into the savings account, right? Now, let's continue to read the question. At the end of 2010 or 2010, he had a total of 7,400. So that is the total that he had after interest, which is A, right? Now, what do we need to calculate? We need to calculate the simple interest rate that Sipo received. Now, from that, we can see that we are dealing with simple interest. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the simple interest formula, which is A equals to P1IN, right? So that is what we managed to get from the question. Now, look, we need to calculate I according to the question. But let's see which parameters do we have already. We know that we have A is 7,400. So that is A. And then what about P? We know P. P will be 5,000 rands. And then, do we know the number of years? We kind of know, but we need to put everything on a timeline so that we can be able to calculate the number of years. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to go ahead and put a timeline. All right, let's go back to the question. The question says, at the end of 2006. So this is the beginning of 2006. This is the end of 2006. So here, right? Sipo invests. He starts to invest 5,000. So I'm going to put P to say he is investing. So P, which is 5,000 rands. All right. Now let's continue to read the question. At the end of 2010. So this is the start point of 2010 and this is the end of 2010. Right here, right? He already accumulated 7,400. So this is A, which is 7,400. 0, 0. I'm going to remove that and write it properly. So A is 7,400. All right. Now, let's look at this. From here, this is to here. It's 1 year, right? I'm going to go ahead and put 1. So this is 1 year, 2, 3, and 4, right? So you can already see that this from here up to there, it's 4 years, okay? So that means N will be equals to 4, all right? Now, let's go ahead and put everything that we know into that equation, right? So what do we know? What is A? A will be 7,400. And then what is P? P 5,000, right? P will be 5,000. 5,000. 1 plus. I is what we are looking for. And then what about N is 4. All right. Now we need to do simple math. So I'm going to say 4,000 and then divide everything else, right, by 500. 5,000. All right. Now, what do I have? I have 7,400 divided by 5,000, right? So what I'll do is I'll just decide to keep it like this and take 1 to the other side, right? So 7,450,000, right? Minus 1, 4. Now, I will be 740 divided by 5,000 minus 1 divided by 4. And the answer that I get is 0,12. But I didn't answer the question, okay? As you can see. So this is not in percentage form, right? So what I will say now is, I will say Sipho received a simple interest rate of, right? So I'll put it in words. Sipho, let me put it in this color. Sipho received a simple interest rate of 12%. So what you do is you just multiply that by 100 to get a percentage, right? So I managed to answer the question. So let's move to the next one. Example number 3. Sarah guessed 4 correct numbers in the lottery and invested her winnings at a rate of 7.5% per annum. Simple interest, right? So 2 things. Simple interest, we know we are dealing with simple interest. So I'm going to go ahead and put down the simple interest formula. A P 1 plus IN. You need to know that formula. And therefore, what else do we know? We know that this is the interest rate, which is I. Now, let's continue to read the question. After 2 years, she had 17,250. All right. So after 2 years, so we have 2 things right there. So number 1, this is 2 years, which is N. We know that N is 2 years. And then what else do we know? We know that after 2 years, right, the amount is 17,250, which is the same as A. All right. Now, the question says, how much did Sarah win? What are we looking for? Right there. We are looking for the principal amount. The amount that she won and invested for 2 years. All right. At an interest rate of 7.5. Okay. So this is the formula that we are going to use. Do we know A? Yes. A is 17,250. I'm going to go ahead and put A. 17,250. That is the amount for A. Do we know P? No, we do not know P. P is what we are actually calculating. So I'm going to write P as it is. 1 plus I. Now, remember, what is I? I is 7.5%, right? How do we write I when we are working with these formulas? We divide that by 100. Okay, so I'm going to say right here, 7.5 divided by 100, which will be 0,075. Okay, that means I'm going to put 0,075 here as a replacement for I, right? Now, do we know N, the number of years? We know the number of years because this is 2 years. I'm going to go ahead and multiply by 2, okay? So, what is P? P will be 17,250 divided by everything that you see here, right? So, I'm going to write 17,250 divide by 1 plus 0,075 multiply by 2. Now, what do you get as P? I get 15 0, 0, 0. Right. Now, what do you need to do at the end? You need to answer the question, right? So, Sarah won 15,000. Example number 4. Luke wants to save 22,000 for an overseas holiday. That is the total amount that he wants to have at the end of the period. So that means we have A. So that is all right. Now, continue to read the question. If he can afford to invest, this is what he can afford to invest. 15,800 rands into a savings account, right? So that means this is the principal amount, the starting amount. What do we have right there? What we have here is P, which is the principal amount. Let's continue reading the question. The savings account that pays 13% simple interest per annum. Two things to take note of. 13%, which is I, right? And what else do we have? We have simple interest. We know that we are dealing with simple interest. Now, what we need to know or do rather is to put down simple interest formula, which is A P 1 plus IN. All right. Now, we need to calculate how long will he have to wait to go on holiday, right? So how long? That means we need to know N. How many years will he have to wait, right, before he can go on holiday? Give your answer to the nearest year, right? Now, let's see. Do we have A? Yes, we have A. Do we have P? Yes, we do have P, right? Do we have I? Yes, we have I, but we are looking for N, all right? So I'm going to replace with what I have. A is 22,000. 22,000 is A, and P is right here, 15,800 rands, right? So 15,800. I is 13%, right? So remember, this is how we write I. So if you have 13%, I will be 13 divided by 100, which is 0,13. Okay, now I'm going to put 0,13 right here and multiply by N, because that is what we are actually looking for according to the question, right? Now, let's proceed. I am going to say 22,000 divided by 15,800. Okay, so this side I'll be left with 0,13 N. Right. Now, I want to take 1 to the other side, right? So that means I'll have 22,000 15,800 minus 1. Okay, this side I still have 0,13 N. Okay, so I just need to divide both sides. So you can divide both sides by 0,13. Divide both sides by 0,13. So what you end up having is N is equals to 22,000 15,800 minus 1 divided by 0,13. The answer that I get here is 3,0617, right? So that is the answer that I get. But look at the question. The question says you need to give your answer to the nearest year, right? So this is 3. The nearest is going to be 3. So when I answer my question, I'll say that Luke will have to wait for 3 years. So he will have to wait for 3 years before he goes to an overseas holiday. Let's recap. Example 2 takeaway. Compare bank rates to get the best deal. Example 3 takeaway. Calculate how much you need to start saving to reach your money goals. Example 4 takeaway. Plan how long it will take to reach your money goals. Now that we have mastered simple interest, next time we will explore compound interest, where banks really profit. So make sure you watch that one next. Ciao.